if Redfin and Zillow all coming for our lunch, if that scares you, you're missing the big picture, right? Because the reality of it is, it's a value exchange. These guys will only eat our lunch if we fail to properly explain and articulate our value to the public. So that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna talk about how do we get our value articulated to the public, and how do we put those systems in place so we can deliver it at scale. So staying relevant, how do we do it? There's a number of different ways. First and foremost, master negotiation, okay? It actually amazes me how our industry has sort of devolved, I would say, because we no longer do the carbon copy contracts, we rely too heavily on technology. We have this kind of program where we send an offer and we shoot somebody a quick text saying, hey, sent you an offer, can you just confirm receipt? That's the extent of our negotiation. Okay, negotiating is the most referable skill we have. It is the most core competency that we do. Invest in becoming a good negotiator. There are some badass negotiators in this room. I can look around. Paul's one of them, for sure. Our top negotiator on our team, we actually track this. We have an award called Chief Negotiator. And anyways, we track what their buyers pay and what their sellers get. And our top guy, Simon Ward, he won it last year. You know what he's doing right now as we speak? He's doing a Harvard-level course on negotiations. It's pretty cool, but he's investing in himself because he knows it doesn't matter what market you're in, and particularly in a slow market when houses aren't selling, you can carve out a marketplace for yourself by being known as a great negotiator. And that doesn't mean that you're a dickhead about it like I was. It just means you're good at it. There's multiple ways to be a great negotiator. So after negotiations, this is a mental shift. Be the guide, okay? So many of us want to be the center of the transaction. The reality of it is we need to become good at guiding people through a consultative process. We have to stop seeing ourselves as salespeople and start seeing ourselves as guides. So this is a mental shift, but when Redfin and these salaried agents are not equipped to be the guide, okay? They're not there. They're not at the center of the transaction. They're just parachuting in to handle one portion of it. If you're the guide, you're bringing someone from beginning to end and landing them safely where they want to go. That is a skill that remains at the center and remains valuable in any market. Next one, we talked about this already, have a variety of solutions, okay? You gotta know some creative stuff. For me, I remember in 2009 when nothing was selling, the investment I made I bought a course called A Fortune at Your Feet, it was called. And it talked about rent to own and vendor financing and zero down and all the different things that you could do to be creative. That course saved my bacon because I wasn't a one-trick pony anymore. I actually had some other tools to bring into a meeting. Become a renovation guru, or at least become really good at helping people visualize what's possible with a property. Because I can't tell you how many times, just through my own experience flipping homes, where I've been able to do a deal or save a deal by being able to visualize and coordinate construction and give people on the fly sort of budgets and estimates of what things cost. But this is a very valuable skill, okay? The AI is not gonna do this for people, okay? So being able to actually walk people through a renovation process and show them where the latent value is and how they can force appreciation on their real estate, that's a very referable skill and it's a very valuable skill. Same with investment analysis. You should be able to quantify a home based on its ROI or its cap rate. You gotta see beyond beds and baths because a lot of people, especially in a market downturn, are looking at property based on its investment component. So there's lots of books you can get on this, but get the education around real estate investment so that you can speak the language of the investor. Next is becoming an authority. So especially when things get hard, people will gravitate towards the authority, or they'll look for people who communicate strength, who seem to have an understanding of where the market's going. And so you do this through market updates, you do this through communicating that you're on the pulse of the market, okay? So becoming an authority, again, AI is not gonna do that for people. No whiz-bang platform is gonna do that for people. You wanna separate yourself and become the authority. Become a referral hub. My brother Nick's the best example of this that I've seen. He's 10 times better than I ever was at it. But people call Nick to get a car. People call Nick to figure out where to go for dinner. It's probably really annoying, but he gets a lot of business from the fact that he's the connector, right? He's got a massive Rolodex of people he can connect people with. And in doing that, you invoke the rule of reciprocity. Because he's connecting so many people, well, they want to do the same for him, right? And so that's a really valuable skill, becoming a connector. So you want to hone that skill. Empathy. That's something an AI will never have, at least not for a while. So what we need to realize is, we desensitized to the real estate transaction. I was really guilty of this. It wasn't until I actually sold my own house and became the irritating seller myself that I got to, grew the empathy that it required to do this at a high level. But knowing that we're catching people, and I think prop tech companies, they miss this. They think that everybody just wants direct access to each other and they want to remove the middleman. What they're missing is, when people buy and sell homes or when they move, it usually correlates with a life event. They've had a child, gotten married, right? Maybe there's a divorce, maybe there's a death, maybe they're downside, they're empty nesters now. It usually correlates with some major life event, right? And so a person who develops empathy and can bring people through a process where, let's be honest, these people are not at their best during this period of time, right? And what they don't need is direct access to a seller while they're at their stressed, right? Two unreasonable people who are both stressed because of their own unique set of circumstances colliding. It's not what we need. But the agents that will survive this are going to be the ones that develop empathy.